Welcome to Bragging Rights, Season 3, Episode 19, sponsored by Comscarf and hosted as usual here at Treble. Please remember to like, subscribe and press that hype button if you're watching on YouTube. It really does help. Unfortunately, we have to start this episode on a bit of a sombre note, as we remember the passing of former Hull FC coach John Keir, who we lost this weekend. John was arguably one of the greatest one-off match coaches in rugby league history. Although he did coach Hull FC to the 2005 Challenge Cup victory, his greatest achievement was coaching Sheffield Eagles to the 1998 Challenge Cup final victory against that all-conquering Wigan Warriors team. His impact on the game, on players and on this club will never be forgotten. From us all here at Bragging Rights, we send our condolences to John's family and friends at this sad time.
Sad news to start Monday morning. We've won it for us.
Just mad news. Just commentating on Saturday, travelling on Sunday, and now he's no longer with us. It's just, and I think John Keir had his ups and downs as a coach. He had some good seasons. He obviously had some incredible highs, but I still remember pretty much everyone universally liked the guy. He was a character of our sport, and he was someone that you didn't mind when he was commentating. You know, he knew his rugby league inside out. He was a knowledgeable guy. He was a nice guy, and it's just sad for everyone involved, obviously. So yeah,
I don't want to. I said in that one of the greatest one-off match coach, and I don't want that to come across disrespectful anyway, but some of the matches he won against teams that shouldn't have won in, like, no one expected us to beat Leeds in 2005. No one, absolutely no one expected Sheffield Eagles to go and beat Wigan, which is probably the biggest underdog story in our lifetime of the sport.
In sport, probably.
I remember at the start of the season when they were saying, when York beat us for the opening game, they were saying, is this the biggest upset? And from what I read online, social media, the consensus was that no, you'll never top that Sheffield Eagles win in 1998.
I don't think we'll ever see it unless there's a championship team goes to the cup final and wins it. It's just incredibly sad news. He's a great man, and I've got a little story that I've met him once, so I'll share it if that's all right. And it was the night prior to the 2016 cup final. We were staying in the same hotel as the BBC staff were staying in, and we was up in the bar having a drink, and I was at the bar and I had some sort of Hull FC top on, whatever it was, and he said hello, asked if I was looking forward to the game. Probably we had a conversation about something else, but one part of the conversation that sticks in my mind is I thanked him for at that time giving me the greatest moment as a Hull FC fan when he coached to the Challenge Cup win in 2005, and he says, I've got a feeling you'll be saying that to Lee Radford in years to come when you beat Warrington tomorrow. And it was just nice, and he had time for everyone, and he was mingling around with everybody. There was fans from every team that night, and everyone said he was such an approachable guy, such a likeable guy, and he will be sorely missed in the sport. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great servant.
Definitely.
Agreed.
We will talk about a Challenge Cup final.
Let's move on to more sombre news.
I was going to say let's lighten the mood.
Depends which way you're looking at.
Well, we can be really quick about this. Do you know, like most of the weeks this year when you've just gone, we were shit, move on. Little tangent here, but I went to the cattery yesterday when I came back from London to pick my cat up. So,
Left your cat in a cattery?
Yep, my cat goes to a great kennels and cattery out near Sprotely Woodlands. He just needs a shout out. I've had dogs going there since I was a child. All my family put animals in there. They're just great. Jackie, who owns it, is a fantastic woman. However, I've known her most of my life. In fact, my older brother used to work there for a bit.
Has she paid for this shout out?
No. Right? I've never known her in my entire life to ever be interested in sport whatsoever, right? You'll like her, she doesn't like children. That's why she owns a kennels, a cattery, a boarding house for any animal. You know, she just doesn't care for kids, right? And I walked in yesterday and she said, "You'll never guess what, Josh?" I said, "What's that?" She went, "I watched the game." And I went, "Did you?" And she said, yeah. She went, "Now, I don't understand rugby, I don't understand sport, do I?" I says, "No, you don't, Jackie." She went, "But do you want my insight?" "Yeah, go on then, Jackie, why don't you give us it?" She went, "It's good that she was laughing." She went, "It's only one word, dog, hear it real quick." She went, "I'll tell you, I don't really know. I gathered which one was Rovers." I went, yeah. "But they weren't wearing red and white." I said, "No, they weren't." She went, "I'll tell you what happened with Rovers, and I'll tell you, and that's all you need to know. Knackered. They were knackered. They looked flat on their feet. Anyways, what we're doing about this cat?" Right, so that's the Rovers section wrapped up. Rovers were knackered. We can move on to some news.
You had to hand over some money as well.
No, I pay in advance for the cat.
Oh, fair enough.
I actually did have to because I forgot to book him in for another holiday. But yeah, it did. In all fairness, on what was a very hot day, I don't think she was far wrong. We did look shattered.
You did, and I think that came from that first half performance from Wigan. I think the damage was done. And I won't jump in, but we was all talking. Well, we'll jump in. We was all messaging at half time, thinking Rovers have weathered a bit of a storm here. That try before half time could give you the kick up the backside you needed, but looking back, the damage was already done, and I think you was absolutely shattered, knackered.
Yeah, it's a great starting point. Like, I don't want it to take away anything from Wigan because Wigan were just superb on the day.
But you're gonna.
No, not at all. I just thought I'd lead in with that. But like, I think it's Susan who said we've played every game available for 18 months. All right, yeah, a couple of different playing personnel, this, that, and the other. But it was going to take its toll at some point, and where else in 30-degree heat?
We said last week we won't know whether what Pete's done will be the right or wrong decision. But I did say everyone will soon forget that he fielded a team of kids last week if they win the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in that heat and how shattered we looked, it's wrong of us not to talk about how dominant Wigan were and very deserving of the win on the day, but it also would be wrong of us not to mention that we did look flat out on our feet. We are the only team, that haven't had a break this year. The only team in Super League that haven't had a break this year. And it just looks like it had caught up on us. I understand we had some key injuries throughout it. Obviously, Mikey one pretty much non-existent after the injury. I didn't think he was having a bad opening 30 minutes, in all fairness. There was some kicks that were a bit iffy, but he was in. But
Wigan haven't had a break, have they?
Well, they didn't play the World Club Challenge when we did.
And they didn't play any notable players last week.
And they also took most of the first starting team out last week.
That was still a Super League round. The World Cup Challenge round, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in terms of the break they had last week,
some of the first team players have had a break.
So Mago played 15 minutes last week and then played 15 minutes this week. Sam, I said didn't get in the squad.
Okay. But the club hasn't had a break, a week off.
No, but his point is the people on the pitch, the actual first team, they had a break last week.
Wigan didn't have a break last week, that's fine. They actually didn't field the same team as last week, is my point being.
Okay.
It turned out, as I'm saying, to give Pete the credit he deserved, it turned out to be a masterstroke, didn't it? I said last week we'll find out. Them players looked fitter, they looked healthier, they looked happier. And what took out of us immediately didn't take out of them.
True. I still don't agree with what he did, by the way, and I don't think many rugby league fans will, but obviously in his head he's been, and Wigan fans, he has been proved right, yeah.
They've got the Challenge Cup. What does it matter?
Who's done that?
What do you think?
I actually didn't know that was happening.
Can't see it on here. That's cute.
Oh, can you not see it on the thing? All right, so Amy at Travels decided to get joined in, and he's put a picture of Gareth Ellis lifting the trophy twice.
Back to back.
Back to back isn't for everyone.
Oh, is that what that is? I thought that's when you won in Catalan. But it's nice that we're remembering something 10 years ago. That's cute.
Like
That's all I've got. Their
years.
cup final, their biggest win is us losing a trophy.
Of course it is.
So,
but no,
it was for you up until about 12 months ago.
Let's go back to the game before we talk about that.
in the passer.
We was well beat in pretty much every facet. I think that's fair to say. I think Wigan dominated. I've seen a couple of comments online that I actually, the more I thought about them, I agree with. One of them was, Susan said to me, sorry, to start the game, oh, we're going to attack towards where we was in the second half. He likes that. He likes when we score or have a chance to score in front of us.
Yeah.
So, do you reckon we've won or not there? I said, I feel like we've won the toss. We've made that decision. It turns out that we did win the toss and we made that choice. But that put us pretty much in the sun immediately. And I read a comment online saying, we then made the choice to kick into the shade every attacking kick of the opening half, whereas they made the choice to kick deep into where Broadbent in the corner, right into the sun. And we just looked shattered for it. That didn't help, it was so hot. And then I also saw another comment that said Wigan stood off better than we did. We had that intensity in land speed in the opening half quite a lot, where we was rushing up, going the full 10 metres at pace. They wasn't as quick off the mark, conserved our energy. When I watched it back, I thought, yeah, you're probably true with that. And you can't excuse, or you can make all the excuses that I'm making now. None of it's going to take away from that Wigan just played better on the day. But I do think these are key contributors to how shattered we looked.
We spoke about it during the game, like, why are you kicking down? I know you like to kick down your left side. It is a point, Mikey's boot, he likes to go down that side. Occasionally you will go the other side, but predominantly you're down that side, aren't you? It just didn't look like you played the conditions right, especially early on. And I don't know if that is down to fatigue so early on in the game, but just your decision making as a whole was not what you are normally up to.
I thought our kicking game was poor all the way through.
Yeah,
I think
I commented on that straight
90% of the kicks that we put in, maybe more, were fielded on the full. Probably 90% of Wigan's kicks found ground and turned us around. I just thought we was doing the same thing. You mentioned it the other week, Jimmy. Doing the same thing and expecting different results, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I think Jimmy made a good point about May in our group. He was non-existent apart from that chip over to close the first half. Mikey, I said up until the injury, where he just landed awkwardly in the Farrell tackle, I felt he was building into the game. After that, he should have been off the field, and he was liable for missed tackles and letting players through because he was playing on one leg. But up until that point, he'd made some good tackles himself, he'd been involved and he was building in. His kicking wasn't great, but it was all resting on his shoulders. And then after that, May was doing nothing, Jez had to set up and do stuff. It was, I'd seen, I think it was Love Rugby League, putting comments in about not many players getting above a 4 out of 10 for Rovers. I think it was fair. It wasn't at the races.
That May performance reminded me of him back previously when he couldn't do it against Catalan, he couldn't do it against Wigan in the Challenge Cup, the grand final 2 years ago.
At the
and
time
I always said, I don't think this guy can step up for you in big games. Granted, proved me wrong, proved a lot of others wrong over the last few years, but this was the May from before then.
Well, you're going to say it now,
then,
when you said we need to replace him with someone, so we're coming with this is how he
but
performed before.
Once Mikey got injured, you had no one to lead that team.
Yeah,
because
that really
Mikey
hurts me, that. Like, not the fact he got injured because it's rugby league, it's part and parcel. Why leave him on? Like, as a coach, you need to be strong there. Fair enough, you might say to him, do you want to stay on or do you want to come off for a rest? If he says, I want to stay on, give him 5 minutes, see what happens, 10 minutes maybe, depending on how the game's going at the time. But I do think that is another factor that we got wrong, which also cost us.
There was a lot of moments in the first half, though, for me that it's all hindsight, you can't tell. Wigan looked like they would have beaten us anyways, but I think there were probably 3 key moments in the first half that I think on your day go your way and the difference. So the first one is the Dino injury. Yeah. We put a lot of play through Dean Hadley. We expect a lot from him. He leads from the front. He's had this running battle against Ensemble and Wigan for the last sort of year and a half. Him going off and, clearly failing a HIA, the guy looked out pretty much as it went. He wasn't in a good place. Really changed us. Was already down, obviously, Jai Whitbread not playing with his wife due any moment. That was a big significant factor. The Mikey injury we've just mentioned, big significant factor. Put a lot more pressure on Jez. Mikey probably shouldn't have stayed out. Like I said, he was not anywhere close to being very good. And I also think the one for me personally, I am disgruntled about the Smith high tackle. It for me is a yellow card offence for 2 reasons. Number one, I think the comparison to the Amon incident is unfair. Amon
That's laughable.
Definitely slips up off the shoulder and catches light. The Smith one is after the whistle's been blown and doesn't catch a shoulder before for me. And I think very clearly I could see that being given as a yellow card. They go down a man and it gives you a bit of an advantage.
So we saw that. I'm not. The Amon penalty is a penalty because it's contact in head, whether it's ricochets or not.
The
Smith one, we saw it, and then we spoke, and then the next thing we know, the refs going shoulder first, contact not direct, off the shoulder. Fair enough. Then we looked back at it at half time because you'd seen something, and he's got away very, very, very lightly there. So.
And now that
I don't get where
to see him being charged and to now get a 1-match ban for it as well.
So the difference for me was Amon there quite clearly shoulder and then it gets ridden up. If I watch the Smith one, does he make contact with the shoulder and the ball? Yeah, but the difference is his arm's not going that way. His arm's already going that way. So he does clip the ball and the shoulder, but that's just because they were in the way, like he was already aiming for it.
I think as well, Walters, was he the tallest player in Super League?
I want to get onto him anyway.
Not far off.
Like how big he is, it's very clear when you turn around and see it that the arm, he catches the shoulder because that's where he's going. Because the guy's like 6'6", 6'7" or something. So it would have been a very, very deliberate high tackle from Amon to catch him on the neck. I'm not saying he didn't, it is a penalty. But the fact that it was called, and I think that's another big game changer because Smith had a good game, he kicked well, and to me, when the whistle's blown, it's deliberate. They go a man down in that heat, it can be a bit of a game changer. Maybe we could have pipped another try. Now, having said that, the second half comes out, we do nothing for 40 minutes. They dominate and run riot, put a big score on us. Probably wouldn't have changed, but would we have maybe lost?
We'll never know, will we?
26-14, I don't know. But yeah, it was disappointing. I think there are 3 big moments in the first half for me that swung it a lot.
There was another one for me. We had a bit of a discussion in the group, Jimmy.
Oh, God.
Which I knew he was going to get onto. I've watched it back, and for me, I always call it straight down the middle. As you know, like if it's against Rovers, I'll say it's against Rovers. I'm not biased, but for me, it's obstruction all day long. Minchella's continued.
Just to jump in, I'm different from you, Craig, on this.
Okay.
Just so you know, I think that Mini plays for it, and I think it's the right shoulder where it's not obstruction. So
he's on.
I want to hear your thing about it. I just want to let you know that I see it differently.
Fine. For me, Minchella's continually moving left, following the tracking of the ball. He is then obstructed, in my view, by Walters, which for me is a penalty. His responsibility is to get through the line. He doesn't. He takes Minchella out. 27 rounds out of 27 in the Super League, that is a penalty.
I can't agree. You were the only Rovers fan
Which
as well.
is fair, but this is why we do this.
Of course it is.
For me, yes, he is continually sliding left, but the problem is, as soon as he gets near to Walters, I think there's one angle, you can see it quite clearly, he shifts his shoulder to that side.
Walters
he
has
doesn't
found the
need
gap.
to. If he doesn't shift his shoulder to that side, Walters goes through the line and he's there and he's able to make that tackle. And in my opinion, as the captain of your club, he should not be playing for a daft penalty like that when he's already in a decent place to make the tackle.
He's got Mikey to his left as well, who was clearly injured at that point, and he should have known he has to make that tackle on the left, not trying to buy a penalty. For me, he's took a dive, and what the big tell for me is, he falls to the view from behind the sticks, looking at that. He falls to the floor. There's none of this arms up in the air straight away. I think he realises straight away, I fucked up here.
I think to try and tie the 2 points in, or the different points of views, I think you've got half a point, Craig, in terms of, because finals are refereed differently, you can see decisions, and hence why, Smith was right, and then you've got this to look at. For me, I think Mini's taking a bit of a dive. I do think you might see them giving him a Super League week in, week out, though. I definitely can. Through this year, we've seen some ones that I consider quite soft being given. I think it's we're going to talk about disciplinary and rules in a minute when we get onto big incidents, but there is definitely still some egregious decisions being made throughout the Super League. For me on that one, I think what's missing from it, the build-up to that, Mikey makes a fantastic ankle tap on one leg to stop them scoring like 2 players or the player before if it's the same incident.
Yeah, we was gobsmacked.
And like,
I thought that was before the injury.
No, he's injured at that point. Unless I've got the wrong sequence in my head.
Yeah,
but
when he ankle taps Field. As
I
Field
don't know
running
if
cross
there's
Field.
next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it was.
No,
Because there's 2 ankle taps he gives in the game.
that's the one
one's
I'm
where he's
thinking.
injured,
We're
one where he's not. But
throwing you off,
anyways,
sorry.
yeah. But I just think that, again, I don't think it changes the outcome of the game. But what I will say is, if that had gone for us, we'd obviously be pleased. I wouldn't have been shocked if that had gone for us. And I also don't believe that Wigan fans would be screaming blue murder that he took a dive, because we have seen multiple ones of that this year where it's been given as obstruction.
But this comes to the whole inconsistency thing that
absolutely.
we've got with referees. I've got no issues with that being allowed, that being given. At the same time, I don't want Smith yellow carded for that. I know by the rules he should have done, but I don't want yellow cards for that.
It's just frustrating though, isn't it? Because like, you get used to one set of rules and you get to a cup semi-final or a final and it's just ref differently, and it's...
I like how the ref... I wish the rest of this...
Oh yeah,
I wish the
if you're going to ref a final like that, ref the rest of it like that. That's my gripe, I think, more than anything.
You think? Yeah.
More than anything, yeah, I think.
So we'll move on from that. I think that takes us to half time. We haven't got obviously all.
Just going to start on the second half.
The second half isn't much to talk about other than credit to Wigan came out on fire.
Did what they had to do,
straight away in
basically.
Senberg. He should be good at that, shouldn't he? He's built like a basketball player, and he jumping up, took that first try.
I can see it coming from a mile off.
They kick on from there. For me, Mikey shouldn't have come back out for the second half. I understand running it off for 10 minutes after it happened, but I think we should have had a player on then. The game was unfortunately done for us. In the second half, I was proud of our tenacity and effort, despite how much we looked like we was out of it. I said it to you guys in the group, and I'll say
You
it
sound
now.
like an old fan there.
The effort was there, just the skill level wasn't.
I like the fact they tried.
Yeah, I do. It's an absolute privilege to be the team that we are and to be in these finals. As I said the other week, there hasn't been a final without Rovers or Wigan since 2022. We are booking that trend of being a one-season wonder. Despite all the social media banter you're going to get now about one-season wonder.
I was going to say, I've seen a few
Yeah, it isn't about that.
one-season
It's about getting to these finals. It's not about what you won in 2016, 2017.
If you'd have fallen off a cliff, got knocked out in round one, then
it's
you've
completely
got...
different.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to carry this on. I've been saying this for weeks. I want us to be a team that's up there and challenging, right? And I get that teams don't like us now. There's been a narrative change on Rovers. When we got to that first final and we went to go and play against Lee, everyone wanted Rovers to win because it was going to be great to see a different team on a trophy. Right?
Apart from all fans.
Apart from all fans, yeah. But now the narrative's changed, and the big boys that used to sit at the table don't like Rovers. And it's not because we've got a small portion of fans that are dickheads. Every club's got a small portion of fans that are dickheads. Just go on social media, you'll see them all. That's the worst place for them. When you actually go to the games and you actually meet people and speak to fans of other clubs, the majority of fans are good people. The problem we've got now is, of course your Leeds don't like seeing us up there because they haven't done anything for a few years. Of course Saints don't like it because they haven't done anything for 5 or 6 years. It's hard to maintain and be up there, and I'm proud of the fact that we still got there. And I'm gutted that we didn't win. The second half, for me, it's not notable. We didn't turn up to the races. They dominated. The only thing that's really worth talking about, I thought that Jez had little sparks of momentum but wasn't at his best. I think Sam luckily deserves the credit he's getting. He was hard-working, grafting, played big minutes with everything we had going on. But what else is there to talk about in the second half apart from the attempted murder of Saints legend, Bill Leyland?
But just quickly before we move on to the...
because that's right at the end of it.
Yeah.
So
well, this is even further past the end. You spoke about then about clubs having decent fans when you actually speak to them and whatnot. I walked out the ground...
Did you go at 60 minutes like a load of
No,
people?
not mate. Checking. Stayed till the end this time. I was walking out and I must have spoken to 5 or 6 different Wigan fans. Said congratulations to all of them, deserve that, and had a few more in-depth conversations with a couple of others. And they were just so genuine and down to earth, which is not what you see on social media. So
Twitter's a cesspit.
The best way to find out about a club's fans is go to the games, speak to the opposition fans, and just have general conversations with them.
2024 grand final, I think I spoke about it on the pod, it's just when I joined, before we even did it on video. I walked all the way from Old Trafford to where I was staying. I must have spoke to 50 Wigan fans. 49 were fantastic people. One dickhead, when I finally got to the pub, was being arrogant. He's like, you're not like us, are you? You're not a club like Wigan. Nobody gets to play Wigan at a grand final and have a chance. You'll never beat a team like Wigan. Anytime we get to a final,
was wishing you'd
and I was like,
into him.
but this isn't the nice conversation. I've just spoke to 49 people and said, what a game, well done. What a close, tight game that was. But I met one bad out of 15. There was some great people there, fans from all clubs. It always is Challenge Cup. We're going to talk about attendance numbers in the news, so we won't talk about it now. Of course, there were some great people, but yeah, it's disappointing to lose. But unless there is anything else, I think for timing, before we do shout-outs or anything else, we need to talk about the tackle on Leyland.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was disgusting.
And the following disciplinary that's come from it, because we've got news of that today, haven't we? So
it's not even like with Aiden and SA last week. You kind of we had that bit of banter, didn't we? Where Aiden took him to Suplex City, Brock Lesnar, all that. We thought he'd retired, all that sort of stuff. Bit of banter. You can't. There's no banter about this. Yeah. Like that tackle, and I said it to my old man today. Hands down, the worst tackle I've ever seen watching rugby league.
I just want to. It was, but I want to throw a little Josh in there, a little caveat. So
you're not going to shut up now, are you?
Yeah.
Well, Josh never shuts up. So.
All right, okay. I'll
I thought it was my nickname, little caveat.
That's why I threw my pen earlier, because I kept getting cut off. Anyways, Walters, yes, initially causes a lift and whatnot, but there's plenty of time for Walters to readjust that tackle and to put Leyland down if Ensemba doesn't come in. For me, Ensemba is probably just as much or maybe more at fault than what Walters is for me. And he's got away scot-free.
I'm very surprised he's got away scot-free.
I'm surprised he got away scot-free. I don't think he has to blame. He come in to help with the tackle and
make sure he really got drove into the ground.
he's not as to blame because initially Walters is the one who puts him in that position.
He is, but he doesn't do that. Walters has time to readjust, not put him down, but make it not as bad.
The thing is that in the moment, in a game, we've all done it. We've all cocked up. And Sember didn't come in with any intention of making it worse. He came in just to make a tackle. It's the actions that Walters had already made that meant that tackle ended up.
I've got 2 comments from 2 Wigan fans that I want to talk about this. We all agree it's really bad. We now know that with the points that he's got, Walters ends up with a 7-game ban. He's only just come back from a 3-game ban.
Affects 5 points.
Yep. When he comes back, he's going to be in that naughty boy area of literally anything is going to tip him for another 3-game ban. That's how it works now. Anything infringement that comes back.
I won't bet against him not getting a 3-game ban when he comes back.
I'd like to say from a personal point of view, I actually think that it's a little bit harsh on Walters in some ways because of what you've just said. You initiates, but then December comes in. However, when a player gets a track record and does repeated naughty things, what can you do? So there's two comments. So they're both from Reddit. I'll say their names in case they watch. You never know, Wigan fans. But this is from Moleman827. In accordance to the rules, the RFL has set out that the player who lifts is responsible for how the player lands, and in accordance with those rules, Ensemba has done nothing wrong. This should be a clear rule, a clear sign, that we need to overhaul the rules again, as it's fairly obvious that Ensemba is equally, if not more, responsible for the outcome. I think the only solution to this issue would have been if it went to an independent hearing, which I think would have made the obvious sense given the complexity of the incident. Now, fair comment from a Wigan fan. That's not the decision they've gone down. We demand consistency, but we also demand that people stick to the rules. If that's what the rules say, the rules are wrong. But the rules have been adhered to. We all kind of agree that Ensemba's a naughty boy there, and he's responsible for it being really bad. But what can you do? And then the second comment, another Wigan fan, less than Dave89. As much as it pains me to admit it, hearing Junior's comments after the game about he wanted revenge on KR after the grand final, I don't think it's a massive stretch to think that he wanted to get one on Leyland after what he did in the Saints game. I really hope I'm wrong. I don't buy that.
I don't buy that.
A Wigan fan saying that I find very strange. I just think it was stupid. It was the wrong time to make a bad decision like that. I don't believe that Ensemba deliberately targeted Leyland.
Yeah, I was at Rachel's mum and dad's yesterday, and her brother-in-law was there, and he insinuated potentially that there was some malice in it and that it was intentional and that, and I shut him down straight away. I was just like, nah, I don't think. Maybe when you're playing Ullen District and it's thugs on a rugby field for 80 minutes, maybe, but at professional rugby league, I do not think I've ever seen anyone. Are you looking at the thug?
Yeah, looking at the thug.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone intentionally injure someone in that way, or intentionally go out to hurt someone like that. I just don't think it happens.
The problem is when people see stuff in a different light after an incident like that. So there was an incident earlier on where Ensemba's like giving the extra shove on the ground because he's caught Davies in goal and stuff like that, and people like calling back to him like, look, I think Ensemba gets painted as a bit of a nice guy sometimes, and because he's a real nice kid and he goes to church and stuff like that, and I don't think it's true. I think he plays with an aggressive streak, and I've seen him on close to Milan, and I've seen him being involved, especially against Rovers in several incidents. I don't think that means that he went out to intentionally hurt someone. I do think personally, from my point of view, there's something wrong with the disciplinary system that Ensemba's playing next week and Walters is missing for 7 games.
Yeah, agreed. I do think he should have copped something. I don't think 7 games like Walters, but he should have copped something at least.
My worry, coming into waking up this morning and waiting for the disciplinary news, was going to be he gets 3 games and he gets 3 games. It's not right, it's not fair to only have 3 games for one of them, not the other. And look, that's what's happened.
Bragging Rights is proudly sponsored by Comscaf. Hull's own Comscaf have been keeping things safe and steady for over 30 years, providing professional scaffolding services nationwide. If you need a team you can trust for your next project, big or small, head to comscaf.co.uk or give them a call on 01482 782 181.
Is it me?
It's you, yeah.
I'm going back to Rovers.
Because we got cut off when we weren't ready. Bloody Susan.
Shout out to your mate Doddy, met him when I first got there, nice lad.
We do what we want, won't we?
Yeah, I'm good. Anyways, I didn't want to be cut off. I thought it'd be different today. No, and I will get on to news, but I think I want to do some shout-outs just because I think
You
it's
have
only...
both got a few shout-outs, haven't
I
you?
think it's only fair to say, especially when you've been to a big game like that and you see so many people. I spoke to loads of people. I stopped to chat to loads of people. I met so many nice people. I will apologise to Jenny from Gogglebox. Yes, we had a real nice time, but I shouldn't have said some of the things that I said to you later on in the day.
Sorry, what?
So do you know Jenny was on Gogglebox? You ever watched Gogglebox?
Yeah,
The one from Hull?
Yeah.
With Lee?
So her niece, and Evie stands with her and knows the family and stuff like that. So she was at the game, and after the game I was chatting to her, and I was chatting to her family, and I was...
Trying to work out who's more famous. You or her?
Yeah, she was getting a lot more selfish with people than I was, I'll tell you now. But yeah, I had a real good laugh with her, but I was making some inappropriate suggestions about how she could spend her TV money, which she found really funny, but probably wasn't the right thing to do.
Care to share?
No, not on TV, not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube.
Not on the telly box.
Cancel culture.
No, the only one I really need to do, because I've messed up here, Steve Smith, who I met in Vegas, and then really I was like chatting to him and catching up. I met him and his mum, and then also he was with another bloke and lady, and I spoke to him for ages, I had a real good conversation, and then the names just went into here, and beer brain just forgot them all. And I was like, I'm giving you guys a shout out. This has been a really nice conversation.
At least you remember me.
We've had a real good chat, and I'm like, this has been lovely. I'm like, I'm going to make sure I shout you out. Couldn't remember Doddy's name. It's only because I took a selfie. You asked for it. I did a selfie and I sent it to you.
I did ask for it, but you sent it.
Yeah, and we all met Doddy. So it was really nice. Everybody that I met there and everyone I spoke to was fantastic. If you haven't got a shout out, you know, it's not because we don't love you. I love chatting to people. I love having selfies, and I just love
forgot.
He just forgot. Simple as that.
You did miss one though, who gets really irate.
Oh yeah, and I did meet Mason. Just, you know, again, he wanted loads of selfies. He's like, God, you're nearly as famous as my dad.
Good job we didn't watch this. Because we filming. Oh dear. But yeah, a couple of mine then. So Becky Naylor and Cobra. Becky Naylor, who you might remember me mentioning her last year when we went to Wakefield and they're from Whitehaven, and we all got together, and then she sent me a message and we met up. We had a bit of a chinwag and stuff like that. So really great to see them. I still do need to go to one of their games. So
Getting a new stadium, aren't they?
are they?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh. But yeah, shout out to Becky Naylor and Co. And I did have another one, but I can't remember what it was.
Love Rugby League.
That one, yes. Sorry, Matt and Aaron. Walking down Wembley Way.
I don't believe that they watch this.
Well, let me just...
If they do, they need to comment to prove that they watch it. I need a comment in YouTube.
So, Matt and Aaron, Matt Shaw and Aaron Unshaw of his last name.
Definitely don't watch now.
Oh God.
I was walking down Wembley Way and I heard them chatting, and they were talking about French at this point, so I stood and stuck a little ear in and then name dropped the pod, and they was like, oh yeah, we watched that, yeah. So shout out to them. It was just nice to have a little chinwag about rugby with them guys as well, and hope you enjoyed the game more than we did. So.
It's probably a good thing I didn't meet him. How much a fanboy of. I love Rugby League anyways.
I've actually got I wrote a list of things.
I thought he was going to say Aaron's last name.
As we went through the game, I was just writing stuff, and one of the things I actually wrote was, why risk French?
He's sitting out for another few weeks now.
At the point he came on, and then
What's the point in that?
underneath, a couple of lines later, I've got French ankle breaker on Mikey was nice, made it worth the risk.
The thing is, right,
It was already broken.
I'm not one to stick up for Mikey, but the fact that he got left on there and French did that to him, he only did that to him. Maybe he would have stepped in, but he made it look so bad on Mikey because he was on one leg. And people are going to show that and show that and show that, and people won't know the context looking back in years to come.
Look, we all know Mikey Lewis is. You know I defend him all the
But
time.
I'm so
I love
glad it happened.
But we got well
Not
beat.
the injury, by the
and
way.
Mikey
Not the
Lewis had a
injury.
poor game, whether he was injured or not, and he's going to end up with, you know, he's going to end up with that replay of showing back.
Yeah.
We're going to have all the chatter about not stepping up in a big game again. You know, that's what happens when you become a poster boy for a sport. We've discussed this the other week about everyone hating Sam Tompkins when he played. And I think the narrative of Mikey Lewis will change in the future. But it's a long career playing rugby league. We're bothered about Mikey being fit and healthy, and hoping it's not a bad injury. And yeah, got well stepped there, fine. Yeah. We got well beat. It's what happens.
So it turns out Susan's just reliably informed me that I should have known this guy's last name, Aaron's last name, because I also follow him on X, and he posts a lot of stuff on there. So Aaron Bauer, apologies. I do apologise. Hope you enjoyed the game, anyways. I can't say much else. And sorry, can I?
So you wrapped up on?
Yeah, I think so.
Cup final 2.0 now is section.
I don't know. I might wait till we move on again and then do it again.
I hope we get news done and then we can have an advert because I can go to the loo
You shouldn't
then.
have
So
said anything
can we?
and just done it. That'd have been funny.
We've got news. You don't need to cover the fact that Rovers got beat by a 12-man Wigan team at Wembley. We've just done that. So what's the rest of the news?
Put some context to it, Jimmy.
In more sad news, just a reminder for everyone, so we're recording on Monday, 1st of June, but tomorrow, 2nd of June, will be the 2-year anniversary of Rob Burrows passing.
Wow.
That's really come around quick,
by that, isn't it?
unfortunately. There's a lot been going on with M&D, which is good to hear. Football legend Marcus Stewart, remember him, who was diagnosed with M&D a few years back, was unfortunately now losing the use of his arm. He's been heavily involved. He used to play for Ipswich, Sunderland, Bristol Rovers. He was diagnosed September 2022.
Was it Derby County as well?
I don't know. I remember him at Ipswich. I don't remember him.
He's been raising awareness, and he's at the minute he's really struggling. He can't drive anymore. He can't shower himself. Just more sad news on that. But he's been getting involved in the March of the Day walk, where a group of walkers, now in its third year that's been doing this, group of walkers cover 350 miles over the next 6 days, previous 6 days just gone, and they end up finishing at the Rob Burrows Centre for M&D in Leeds. I just thought, real time to mention it, especially with, shockingly, tomorrow will be 2 years for Rob Burrows, so just very sad.
It really is.
I think it makes it even worse when you factor in Jai Arrow as well.
Yeah, just so much going on.
You know, I think that it quite hard for a lot of people, especially down under, but you know, when you think about Rob, when he got diagnosed, he'd stopped playing. He'd had his career, he'd stopped playing, he'd been retired for a few years. This kid was still active on the roster for South Sydney.
Still probably
30-year-old, and it's
5 to 8 years probably left in his.
But I shared in our group the other day a video that Fox League did, and one of the things that they mentioned is to sort of emphasise the strength of the man. It's undoubtedly true that he played all of last season with that disease in his body. Undoubtedly. And he passed comments on like getting weakness in his shoulder and stuff like that. The fact that he still managed to get through that season. But again, the same for all of them, like just best wishes to. I doubt he watches, but you know. So
yeah, and then the only other bit of news, two bits actually. So Jack Brown finally announced leaving Rovers, immediate effect. So he took Rover to the Super League club. One that we've been discussing back and forth maybe a month. It was nice that he got a run out, for the club he supports at Wembley. Obviously, he couldn't beat a 12-man Wigan, which is a shame.
Serious question: was he only kept on because of the uncertainty under Jai Whitbread's appearance?
It
was muted a few weeks ago that he might not play Whitbread because of our timeline.
Possibly, quite possibly, but we'll never know the full ins and outs. But from a fan's perspective, you certainly have to give it some serious thought that it could well be the reason as to why he did stay for a bit longer.
Yeah, if it is, it's some clever coaching and management going on as well, knowing you've got a final coming up, knowing you've got more games to play.
Foresight.
I mean,
understanding that we're waiting for Vitai Pangai Jr. to get fit, so we don't know when he's going to step in. We hold the cards there if we're going to move this player on.
It's credit to something that Peters has been great at for you guys in terms of squad and depth and numbers. He's proven it a couple of times, signing players just so that you've got a team to go 13 on 13 on in training. Like, if he thinks he's going to need a man, well, he's going to keep him as long as he needs him. So, yeah, credit to Peters.
We wish Jack all the best. And the other bit of news, be remiss not to talk about it, but the Challenge Cup final actually had its lowest attendance at Wembley. This is heavily caveated, of course. It doesn't include the COVID finals and some of the finals not played at Wembley.
Catalan final.
It's the lowest since 1946.
It's the lowest in 80 years. So there was 56,383 people there. They are putting this down mainly just to everyone being at City last weekend. The same reason Hull have no fan at Leigh. There's just so many people could only afford to go to Wembley once. No, I do think that may be a slight part for it.
I'll give you a bit of a leeway on it, but not the Wigan fans.
I didn't go
Wigan
because I
have
couldn't
got
afford it.
Paris next week, so I mean, I guess you kind of can.
They haven't they? Yeah.
So this is what I was going to say. The big things are, they don't know why. Wigan didn't sell as many as Rovers did. That's what was reported. There was big gaps in the stadium. There was a lot of fans there. 56,000 people, still a lot. However, it's a very low amount. Wigan have to go to Paris next week. I spoke to several fans that now wasn't going to Paris because they was coming to this. There was several fans online that we've seen saying they couldn't afford to go to City last week and come to this. They'd seen Rovers at finals last year, so they chose City.
See, I don't buy that. You qualified for this weeks and weeks and weeks before City.
No, it wasn't. It was a weekend before.
Weekend before what?
City qualified. Rovers qualified on the Saturday, and I believe City went to Millwall on the Monday.
Was it that
Yeah,
close?
it was that close.
2 days
It was
different.
It was very
In
tight.
my head, I'm thinking the semi-final was like a month ago.
No, it was
3
only
weeks.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
Fair enough.
But
So
just to say to that, I was talking to a guy in the pub on Saturday, and he'd gone to Vegas to watch Rovers, and he's a pass holder, but he just said, I just don't have the funds to go down to Wembley.
Was that the old boy that I was pissing?
No, it was. I think he was with him, but it was. He just. Some people just haven't got the funds. You've had a lot of things this past year.
The biggest
And I've got an away game coming up this weekend as well.
The biggest worry of it all is people go back and forth over Wembley and spiritual home for the cup and shouldn't be played there, but it doesn't look good when you've got empty seats, and when you've got big seasons like we've had, where we have had Vegas, the World Cup Challenge. You know, we've seen drop-offs, as I said before, in the Toulouse and Catalan trips this year because people can't afford to do it. And then you have a final like this. It is expensive. London's expensive. The drinks and everything is expensive at Wembley and around Wembley. It's not good for the sport, but Wigan also had a lack of numbers because of that. And it's one thing to say, you know, well, I would have gone anyways. You know, me and Craig did go. But some fans simply can't afford it. So we'll watch and see what happens. I don't see it moving away from Wembley anytime soon.
It wasn't for the lack of that guy wanting. He just said, and many people will be in the same boat, unfortunately.
That's been an expensive deal for us.
Susan's still moaning about the price of a pint a week later.
Yeah, it still keeps increasing it. The only high that come out of this anyways was that viewing figures weren't bad, and at its peak on the BBC, they did peak at 1 million viewers at one point, which isn't bad. You know, primetime game on a Saturday afternoon and for free to air TV. Yeah. It's good to see that a lot of people tuned in for, obviously, admittedly not the close, tighter game that people would have wanted, but they still tuned in for a game of rugby that had some entertaining rugby in there.
I went a million miles away with the total points, but just the winning margin I got massively wrong.
You're supposed to talk about travel. You pointed.
Oh, well, I didn't hear anyone point or see anyone
Didn't hear anyone point.
We're just going to sit in silence.
Yeah. I got distracted because I've got a 1 minute section and Dean thinks he can have a piss. Right. Yeah.
Not me for a change.
So thanks again to Treble for letting us use this as our home. We say it every week, get your backsides down here if you can. I'm sure there was plenty of people here at the weekend watching Wigan. And get here if you can. But also, when you are here, we're going to mix this now. We're going to do what I did last week, 2 weeks ago. And we're actually going to do Treble and 7 vodka at the same time.
In that case, it'd be rude not to if you're doing it.
You've got the toffee
Of course,
stuff
I've got
again.
the toffee one. It's my favourite.
Yeah, so, as you can tell, Craig's fallen in love with this stuff.
I haven't drank all that, just for the record.
And I've not tried this yet, so I am going to have a go. But if you do get down to Treble, give this stuff a go. They've got toffee, nut toffee, and banoffee. So it's like banoffee, and then the nut toffee one's like a hazelnut kind of flavour in it. So,
yes.
Give this 7 vodka a try if you can, or if you want to, and be sensible if you do. Don't be like Craig.
I was sensible. I only had one
today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Comment section.
Comments. That's just not very clear. I didn't understand what was going on.
Sorry, I writ it out.
Dean writ it out.
I wrote it out.
Do you want some toffee vodka?
No,
Good
I don't, I'm
England.
driving.
So am I.
Good England.
Good England.
Good Englandish.
We finished the vodka.
So make sure you get them last few drops out, Jim.
Just going to stay like you do the comment section.
Just top it up with some of the
Oh,
other.
it's all gone P-tongue on it.
Remember to drink responsibly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it means all in one.
It was responsibly. He didn't leave any.
Right, comment section, shout out
real
section.
nice.
I want to start. We had a lot of comments on YouTube this week, so again, thank you very much for that. I have picked a couple out just to read. The first one is more of a shout out. Rovers legend Chris Wellham and his team completed a cycle ride to Wembley last week. Dubbed 9 men, 12 stadiums, 1 goal, 440 miles, visiting every UK Super League stadium in the country, collecting signed shirts, which I believe will be auctioned off at a later date. They arrived, I don't know if you did you guys see them? They arrived on Wembley Way prior to kick off.
I've seen the photo of them sat on the bikes outside Wembley, but
Yeah.
I didn't actually see them there.
Yeah.
Great achievement. Raising money for Mystery Minds, I believe. Is that what
So,
it is?
so the Chris Wellham Facebook page says.
Yeah. I've had to go off information from my wife and from Craig here because I'm not on Facebook. But Hannah did say Chris Wellham testimonial year Facebook page, and Liam Wellham, his brother, who did join him on the rad.
Is it not all the
posted a
grounds
lot
that
of
he
things.
played at?
No, it's every single
Super
UK
League.
Is it just
Super
the
League ground.
Super
Yeah.
League?
Current as well.
And
Yeah, because when they got to Huddersfield, they thought a home game was on because that shows you how many fans they get.
wow,
So that one Huddersfield fan listener that we did have.
it's gone.
Imagine catching a stray as a Huddersfield fan on a dog days of all days.
Even the whole podcast is taking the piss out of my team. Bloody hell. But no, congratulations to them. Have a look on them Facebook pages. There is a GoFundMe page to help raise money as well, so give that a visit if you can and contribute if you can. But no, well done to them, especially in that heat last week. That must have been absolutely torrid to get 440 miles. Yeah, no, not for me, thank you very much. But congratulations to Chris and the rest of his team. Second one is a comment I would like to mention from, I'm not prepared, am I? Ken Scott. We can't do it tonight because the doors are open on the balcony. Only just noticed that your heads sometimes fit neatly into the tribal logos behind you, making you look like spacemen.
Just pull that one so it makes Craig
It didn't
like
really
a space
open,
man.
but I tried earlier. Yeah, hang on, sorry.
So he goes to gym, can't you?
So, that circle in there.
Can we play Rocket Man, Elton John over the top?
And I think it's gonna. No.
No.
And there is only one more to mention. There is, like I said, there has been many comments, but there's only one more I'm going to bring up. And it was, I didn't know the context to this comment.
I'd forgot I'd said it.
Until you brought it up. I want to see the video of you cheering like mad on the next podcast, and you can add.
Yeah, so last week when we were doing the predictions at the end, I said I think Rovers will win, and to be honest, based on what Wigan had done, I kind of wanted them to have a bit of humble pie.
However,
If Wigan win, I will go absolutely effing mental and jump through the roof, and pretty much did, to be fair.
He did go effing mental, but he's still recovering from his surgery, so he didn't jump through the roof.
so effing mental was.
I just about got about half an inch off the chair and then realised that it can hurt, so I stopped.
Perish the thought, but if I was an FC fan, I'd have to cheer that as well, because the only wins you get is when we lose nowadays. So I understand why he was excited.
I've been doing this for years. I remember watching that O'Brien drop goal that got you relegated. I jumped that eye, I accidentally punched the ceiling at my dad's house.
And my sport, I'm not normally one to take satisfaction from other people's downfalls or failures or anything like that. No, I'm not normally. I class myself quite a fair fan. I can have a conversation with anyone and be pretty much down the middle. But both my teams that I support have been fucking dire lately. So I had the most enjoyable Saturday watching you guys get absolutely done, and then Paris Saint-Germain doing that lot from North London. I was in great spirits. So yeah, I enjoyed
Who aren't
it.
even one of your rivals, apart from the fact
Do you know
that they're
what
from
though?
London.
We spoke about
And
this
I don't
just
like
before the
Arsenal.
pod. But just before the pod, we spoke about it. My favourite part of the entire day wasn't watching Wigan win. Wasn't watching them lift the cup. It wasn't watching you lose or Mikey falling on his ass when French ran past him. None of that. My favourite part of the day was the fact that there's a message in our group chat from Dean at the end of the game. Really nice message. Try and enjoy the rest of the night, lads. I hope you have a good night. All this, blah, 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 blah. And then an hour later, Dean had sunk a couple more pints. PSG won, and he just put a message in the group saying, back-to-back wins in for everyone, like PSG, is it? And I'm just like, oh, Dean.
Saw it Sunday morning, I was like,
That's not me.
it's not me.
Oh, no.
It was.
You've been real nice. We've gone away, and all we think now is that we live rent-free in your head because we've ruined your Saturday night. You meant to have a good time when we
You
lose.
didn't ruin my Saturday night. But that's it for comment section anyway.
Yeah, so on to another bit, and I will apologise if I get emotional reading this out, because it's not a nice thing to read. It's nice what we're doing. What we do every month is we pick a new cause to support, and by support we will donate £50 to the cause, which I'll be doing later tonight. But we also put a banner at the bottom, that is at the bottom now, I believe, and basically provide you with a QR code to scan it, and hopefully, if you can get behind that cause as well and help it. But this month's cause is a bit of a tough one to read, if I'm honest. So this I've come across this twice. So my partner Rachel brought this up when she first saw it on Facebook, and then Josh just put it in the group chat as well, because they've both connected to the cause in different ways. But we recently came across a message about a little boy called Otto, who at just 6 months old has been diagnosed with Krabbe leukodystrophy. I hope I pronounced that right. An incredibly rare and devastating condition. The heartbreaking reality is that Otto is unlikely to reach his 2nd birthday. His parents, Ella and Kieran, are now facing every parent's worst nightmare while trying to make the most of every precious moment they have together as a family. Friends and family are raising money to help ease some of the financial pressures and allow them to focus on creating memories with Otto. When we read their story, we knew it was something that we wanted to support straight away. So if you're able to donate, share the fundraiser, or simply just take a moment to read Otto's story, it'll be hugely appreciated. So from us at Bragging Rights, thank you for any support that you can give, and all our best to Otto, to Ella, to Kieran, and the rest of the family as well.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. No parent should ever have to say goodbye to a child in that manner.
No, they shouldn't. But like I said, if we're going to get behind this, and there's plenty of people that's got behind this. It's they're doing so well. The people that are fundraising to raise funds to help, and it is a small consolation to Ella and Kieran. And I spent a bit of time on the phone with Kieran earlier today as well, and he couldn't be more appreciative. So yeah, if we can help them. As far as I'm aware, I think they want to put some of the money towards going away as a family, making memories in that way, and just getting away from life, I think. So
If we to switch off and spend time together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if we can do that, if anyone that's watching or listening can do that, there's a QR code on the bottom of the screen. Every minute or two it'll pop up, and we'll put a link in the description as well for anyone that's just on like Spotify or Apple. You'll be able to click that link, copy and paste that link, and we'll post it on our socials as well. Yeah. So yeah, if you can, please get behind that cause.
Even if you can't personally donate, your sharing of that post might then enable somebody else to donate who hadn't seen it or is in a financial position where they are able to do that. So and even just a share or word of mouth or anything along those lines,
and
it's be brilliant.
It's not just about donating either. Sharing it. Like, I'd never heard of this before. Never in my life. I had no idea what it was, and now that I've read about it, it's sharing that. It's helping people understand what this disease is, what it does, and hopefully, people will then maybe contribute to whatever foundations there are that are out there that can help try and stop it. In the same way that everyone's got behind, families like Rob Burrows and stuff like that. Well, this Kieran is he's a rugby player. He's from Hull. He's played for Wyke. He's one of us. So get behind your own. if you can.
God, it's been a right roller coaster tonight, hasn't it? Bloody hell.
It's not been the nicest episode. Well, but worse for them. We had the good bit about talking about their game, but you know, it's not been the nicest one to do. I don't think.
It's good for me because I've got it out of the way. I genuinely did not want to do tonight. I said to him when I walked in, I was like, "Shots, line them up, beers, line them up, yada yada." I was like, I don't want to remember tonight.
Remember, drink responsibly.
But drink responsibly.
Until it runs out.
But we are back in Super League action this week. And
That means we're playing.
And we are on Friday night.
Yeah? You're going on a bus.
I am going on the coach.
It's a long old poke, innit?
It's the longest stadium from... It's the longest travel.
I forgot about that little joke, yeah. So
to be fair, we've had the longest and the second longest back to back. And to be fair, not
back to back.
With a week's
Back
gap
to
in
back,
there.
yeah.
No, so with it being a standing terrace in the away end,
Yeah, I'm not going.
James can't.
You can sit down the side though, can't you?
I don't know.
I'm sure
Yeah,
they have
so-
like that
yeah,
first
so-
little block. They
Yeah,
have some
so I had this
seats.
conversation with Rachel's dad yesterday. He was like, "Oh, you can and they got anywhere for like people with disabilities and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, they have, but you sat in the wrong stand. You're not with your own fans. I won't be with our kid." Like I said to him, I was like, "I've really got not got no interest, but my interest in watching rugby league goes from right up here to right down here if he's not there." Like, and that's because that's one thing as brothers we've always done.
So basically, you're blaming Dean for not being a nice sibling and sitting down with you.
No, I wouldn't expect him to do that. I watch it at home in the comfort of my own home, and I won't have to drive down the M62 crying when we get beat. I'm winning.
So I'm
Fair.
going with my wife and my youngest on Friday. We did promise her, because when we told her we went to Wigan on coach, she thought it was the best thing ever that we'd gone on coach to rugby, and she goes, I want to go on a game.
She loves a bus, does Layla, doesn't she?
Yeah, she had a birthday cake when she was 3 of a stagecoach bus because that's what she picked.
Wow.
Seriously, yeah. So we said to her, weird, I know.
No, I'm just always fascinated that you will do anything but talk about your team on the pitch. You will find something else every time.
I'm getting to it. No, but so she wanted to go on a coach to a game. James and Josh both can't go because Josh is away this week, and obviously James ain't going.
For people that are listening, cousin Josh, not that Josh.
So we were taking Layla, and
In charge of me.
we thought we'll take her on coach while they're not there because they don't want to ever go on coach again.
You'll
which
have a
is fair
grand old
enough.
time.
Probably not. So, but
Journey down might be alright.
on to the game, we're going to get beat. So, advert, is it? No, there is a couple of possible returns for us. Will Caesar play? Will he or won't he? I don't want to see the guy in an all shirt again. I've seen a lot of comments saying, I don't.
That's just blunt. That's like me level bluntness.
But that's my opinion. That's
I like
that's
it.
my feelings on it. I've seen some fans saying we should be playing him because we need to be playing our best players, and
Well, is he the best player if you're
if he's not in
out's
form?
not in it?
Exactly. For me, no. I have got an inkling he will play. I've got a feeling he will play. Cartwright Jr. might be back for a game.
It's like a tampon, that man.
I'm mixed on this. Like, I think fit, he is our best second row.
He's a good second. I think Batches, personally.
But he's up there.
You don't have to say players' names, you know. You can just say when he's fit, I think he can do this. He just covers your entire team, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
just to be honest.
But there has to be. I can't get away from the fact that there has to be a conflict of interest. If I was in his position, and it was my old man that was the coach, how are you meant to commit and put all your effort into the club that's just got rid of your dad?
But does that come into your mindset when you're on the pitch? We've all played rugby. When I'm on the pitch, all I'm thinking about is the game of rugby. Surely that your sole focus is on the game of rugby. Maybe in the build-up to it, you're training, you aren't fully committed. I don't know that. But when you cross that white line, we're always fully committed.
I can't remember what the subject matter was. We were discussing the other week. We had a topic come up around professionalism and when do you remain professional on the field. Anyone remember what it was about?
Was we talking about Aiden's tackle and then like our emotions? Can
Possibly,
dictate?
about how did they come in? Because maybe it's not directly relatable, but you'd like to think that the person is going to maintain a professional way and it doesn't come into it. However, in the debacle that was Cartwright Senior leaving, it was a modern drama. There was Facebook posts from family members. Since then, other things have happened. You know, John's got another job over in Catalan, and
100% at the minute.
yeah, Jed's had a baby. You know, what's he thinking about his long-term commitment? He's had a child with a woman from Hull that he's met since he came over here. I don't know. The honest answer is you'd like to think that the professional mindset would step in and he will come and do a job, plays one game, set out another 6. But you just never know, because you've got a fair point. It is a bit different.
I don't
it's
laugh
your old
about
man.
injuries, but you are probably right. He's going to be a couple
No, I don't
of
want him
games.
to get injured.
I don't want to see him
I don't
play
want him to get injured, but it's inevitable.
Jed has played himself out of the chance of a renewal of a contract. That's my biggest concern for you. I'm not bothered about whether his heart's in it, his mind's in it, he's worried about his dad. I still think that he showed glimpses, and I only mean glimpses, of being a decent rugby league player. But the fact of the matter is the guy couldn't stay on the field and couldn't do it repeatedly, right? Because of his injury problems. I don't want to see a guy injured. I also don't want to see a guy who's just had a baby, lose his way of living and his livelihood and all that. So I want him to stay on there and I want him to be healthy. My thing is, can he do it? And B, if he has got one eye on what his dad's done, then maybe he should go to Catalan. Maybe he should
By all
leave.
accounts, he has got, and this is just speculation, he has got a championship club lined up for next year. So he's not
You going
playing.
down?
He's not playing for a contract anywhere, if that is to be believed. So, yeah.
See, that makes it worse for me, because I didn't know he had a contract lined up. I thought he was still playing for a contract.
It's not.
But if he has already agreed to go elsewhere, then that makes it even worse, because then I'd be like, well, I've already got a contract. You mugged off my dad. Screw the lot of you.
But then he puts a social media post out last night, which, if you'd like to believe it, it's. I'm ready for every turn.
I'm in the zone.
I'm all in, yeah.
And I hope that is the case.
I hope he is.
I'm just being
so.
pessimistic. I am being pessimistic.
Yeah, I think we are. But
I don't think he's the player to focus on that. I do think Caesar's the bigger question mark. I think that if he doesn't play on Friday night, I think then you really start to get the tongues wagging and say what's happening to this guy. Now, by all accounts, the rumours this week have gone from his leaving to Sneed's coming back to Hull to they're doing a swap.
See, I saw the Sneed stuff, but the stuff I heard was Dodd.
But that's speculation further down the line.
But what I'm saying is, I think that if he doesn't play Friday night, you start to ask the question of, well, this Caesar going somewhere, and is he going to play again this year?
I
Got
hope
another
he
year.
isn't.
He's got another year on his
hope he isn't.
contract.
Well, it must be too expensive to not play in your first team.
So we could see the possible return of Hemming.
I hope so.
I think it's now right
Is it
because he's
right?
had obviously adult.
Longer than expected.
It is longer than expected, but the timeline that was given was quite short for an Achilles injury originally. So I thought Lee a couple of weeks ago would have been a few weeks too early because of what I'd heard in him getting back in certain steps and rehab and things like that. I'm here in Laidlaw, believed to have passed the HIA protocols to be back in the squad, so there will be, we can spell Amir or maybe put Cust at 6. And Laidlaw is a forward, which we're a bit light on if Cartwright and Herman are back in the squad. But unfortunately, I just can't see anything but a Warrington victory in this game. The young kids will do us proud again. They always do. They'll front up as best they can. But this Warrington team, not to be taken lightly this year, they're a good side. I know they've been beat a few times, like by yourself a few weeks ago in the cup semi-final, but all round they are a decent side, and I think they will put us to the sword, unfortunately, on Friday night.
I'm starting to feel like a Salford fan.
Oh, give off, it's not that bad.
No, but the fact that we're turning around saying, oh yeah, we're going to have to play our kids, but the kids will do us proud, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fair enough, I get that. All credit to the kids that do us proud. But fuck me, this is frustrating. Like, it's and your next point, I get it.
Well, I haven't, but you did last week. You said your focus is now on next year. And my question is, have the fans given up? Because I went into the stadium today to buy my tickets. Free travel's on again. I'm on coach 3.
Wow.
4 days before the game.
2 weeks ago, we asked a question about the poor attendance for Lee. And we said there wasn't
You'll see a very similar
there
one
wasn't
on
free
Friday.
travel, but you had.
There was free travel at Lee.
It was a ticket travel deal, wasn't it, for Lee? I
Oh, right,
believe.
okay, sorry. So there was my mistake on that. But we discussed about having City at Wembley the following week, or the following day, sorry. Felt it might be a big reason why a lot of fans hadn't travelled. This will be more telling.
Yeah.
You could be having players back in, you've had a fortnight off, you've got some fresh bodies back in, and if there's free travel or subsidised travel, whatever again, you know, you are normally a fairly well-travelling club, but unfortunately, the media narrative has changed on you again. They're almost pushing the rebuilds back on, it's another rebuild and the season's over, and perhaps unfair, but when the media's driving that, casual fans or fans that don't always go, do buy into that and go, do you know what? It's coming up, summer holidays, we've just had half time with the kids, I've got my own holiday, or do you know what, the weather's quite nice, or I mean, I know it's raining now, but they'll go, Friday night down to the furthest away ground in the league? Nah. I'll watch it on telly.
Furthest away ground. There's going to be, so they're the official coaches from the club, there's going to be a couple of fan coaches going along.
Just
and then
before anyone calls me out, I'm not going because I physically cannot stand for 80 minutes.
You've got health reasons.
Yeah, if I was, I would be going.
He said, FC are giving me ill health, I'm not going.
Oh yeah, FC were the reason I needed surgery. I herniated my disc with stress.
I genuinely think whatever goes on at FC injury-wise is catching, and that's what's happened to you.
That's why we're not taking any fans.
Oh boy, right.
Right then, on to us. Tough game at Wakefield. Never an easy place to go, and now they've got that place sort of how they want it, or as near as damn it man as probably where the away fans stand down the sides. You know, they've got a roof over that away end, they've got the new stand, is it Neil Fox MBE stand down the side, they've got that, they've got a chairman who the fans believe in.
Yep.
It's a very, very difficult place to go, and
Rumours are to believe they'll land up for Vegas in 2028 as well.
oh really? Never knew that. But I think going there with how tired we looked is a week long enough to recover from a drubbing like that. The pessimist in me is saying, I've changed my prediction about 3 or 4 times. The pessimist in me is saying we're not going to have enough. Wakefield are going to be too strong. Flip side of that, the optimist in me, which is very, very minimal, I might add, says that heart over head with that one. But
You've always bounced back.
exactly, this is why
Yeah.
I can't decide. But either way, it's going to. I mean, we got absolutely walloped last time we went to Wakefield, end of last season, second to last or last away game it was last
You did,
season.
didn't you? They were a good team.
48. Was it 48? 48-10 jumps in my head. I don't know if that was a score. But that jumps in my head, innit?
Wakey had an interesting year last year where they got repeatedly compared to you guys because she was fighting out for the final playoff spot. And I said back then, and I still believe it to this day, it was really unfair because there was a much better side than FC and they deserved the 6th spot, but they wasn't actually good enough to challenge in the playoffs. And the reason they had such a tough year was they showed glimpses of what they was building to become as a club, but they wasn't quite competing with the quote-unquote big boys at the top. And when they came up against a well-drilled, even a Saints back last year, but a Wigan, a Leeds and us...
Don't forget, we did the double over them last year as well.
There was a bit hot and cold.
And you got them at first season up.
You know, they was building. And this year at times, they're still showing them flashes of, we're really, really good, but then still making mistakes, you know. They had a game a couple of weeks back, 10 over Catalan, didn't they? They ended up scoring it was 10 points in the first half, but scored 45 in the second.
Yeah,
the real random like that, I think it's going to be tough. And as always, when we do our predictions, we don't know team news. We don't know if Mikey's injury is worse than just he's going to be okay. We presume Dino's going to miss with HIA.
No presumption about it.
He didn't even do an HIA, I don't think.
We don't know that for certain. That's what we've heard. That we just.
Oh,
we knew.
I thought it was a.
It wasn't confirmed. It's just that he didn't come back out, and it just looks like it was bad. I'm very much similar to you. We've always had a response from Willie Peters' coach team. I haven't picked any predictions yet, numbers. I've just wrote the teams. The one I haven't wrote is this game. I'm leaning towards Wakey. it would go against everything that we've said in the past about getting a response from Willie Peters. It wouldn't change anything for me in terms of how much I trust in Willie and what we do as a team. I just worry that given some of the injuries and given the intensity of this game, this could almost be a bit of a blowout weekend for us where we drop 2 points, don't get the response, and then we build again after that. I.e. what you said at the end of last year, when Wakey blew us away, it meant nothing in the grand scheme of stuff.
I said the Blues away, and the performance felt like that. The scoreline didn't really reflect that. It was 28-12, I've been informed by Susan, so...
It was a game we never felt like we was in.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like, the scoreline is...
Not representative.
Absolutely not. Like, Wakefield could have scored 50 in that game and you'd have gone, they deserve that.
In my head, I saw it. I remember it as a scoreline.
I thought it was. Maybe I've been misled by my own brain.
We just had a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. There was some real bad plays, like Broadbent, because obviously Arthur was injured at that time, and it was just a lot of knock-ons. And then there was like Mikey making like really bad kicks, or a couple of like, I don't know. I just remember it being a poor performance across the board. And look, I'm going to make my prediction in a minute, but when we get onto it, but I can't agree with what you said, Craig. I don't know what to expect. I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped 2 points here.
In the grand scheme of things, won't be the worst thing because the two teams above you, I know Warrington are more than likely going to pick up the 2 points against us, but Leeds and Saints are playing each other. So I know you guys, you might not say it, but you've still got an eye on the top of the table. You are well within touching distance. You've got a game in hand, but with them two teams playing each other, only one of them's going to pull away from you if you do drop the 2 points.
Not necessarily.
If there's not a draw. It was a very unlikely scenario.
Very
there was a draw.
Why it was ideal last week though for the 2 points against Wigan. You know, there was 2 points on offer for a league game. There was a Challenge Cup on offer. We all know which one we all would rather have. But at the end of the day, the 2 points now. What's the next focus? What's the next thing we can do? Win the league. Then it's the focus on the grand final. Now I'm not saying we will, but I do think it's going to be tight in that six this year. I think this team's up and moving. We've done ourselves lots of favours since our dodgy start to the season to get ourselves right back in the mix. If we don't win it, it's not the end of the world. But as you say, see what the teams above us do.
I'm kind of glad this fixture has come at this point in the season rather than towards the end of the season where we was needing to go to Wakefield and get something. Because as I've said, it's a very tough place to go. Not many teams will go there and win. And if they do, they're not going to win comfortably. So I'm kind of glad it's now. That seems like really negative to say and sort of like I don't have a belief in my club. But it's not that. It's just what I've said about the Wakefield team. And
you've got to go some tough places still, haven't you? You've got Leeds. You've had Leeds technically at home. You've had Saints technically at home. You've had Wigan at home. Not Saints technically. You have had Saints at home. So you've sort of got all them places. Wire away. Yeah, you've got some tough road trips, haven't you, to come before now at the end of the season. So
we've still got Wigan away as well. We haven't been to Wigan yet, have we? The only other really tough place I'd say we've been is Leigh. In terms of our away games.
It's a tough one to pick this one. I struggled with this one. I've done it now, but I struggled with this one.
We'll see where we're at. That's all we can do.
I expect you to win. I mean, touch wood for you, but I mean, it worked for Wigan. They rested and then won the grand final. They had the Challenge Cup the week after, and then you rested last week in the Challenge Cup. So surely you'll win this week.
Well, it paid off for us playing our kids
all
in
eyes
Vegas,
on
didn't it?
Wakefield for you, though, wasn't it?
It was.
It's a bit weird, you know. Pete's like, "Oh, I want a Challenge Cup," and you're like, "I want to win at Wakefield."
He's got his priorities, and he's got knows what he wants.
In Peter's you trust.
He's only mentioning it because he can't fathom the idea of his team going and winning at Wakefield. He can't
did
imagine
last
going
year.
anywhere. Oh, last year?
Yeah.
I thought he was talking.
And we played them this year.
Yeah, we got beat.
You live in the past, don't you? You focus on trying to beat newly promoted clubs, and we'll focus on playing teams that are in the playoffs.
They've already beat us.
We'll see what that's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
Really interesting. I know we're going to get onto it because it's now Craig's time to shine. Really interesting week with predictions.
It really is, isn't it? So we'll start off then Thursday night. I'm assuming I've not actually seen what day it was. Leeds versus St Helens at Headingley. I think Leeds will continue, and they will win by 10.
Leeds by 12.
Leeds by 8.
Leeds by 14.
Susan's got Leeds by 10, so we're all Leeds across the board there. Oddsall, Bradford versus York. I've got Bradford by 10.
Bradford by 8.
Bradford by 8.
Bradford by 10.
And Susan's got Bradford by 4. Again, across the board.
I was surprised we all went the same on that because I thought that was quite a tough one.
Only a 6-point spread across the predictions as well. So, Wombo, Weldon Road, the Jungle, whatever you want to call it these days. Castleford versus Lee. Lee by 14.
Lee by 16.
Lee by 10.
Lee by 20.
20. And Susan's got Lee by 10. Halliwell Jones, as we've previously discussed. Warrington versus FC. Can't see anything but a Warrington win 16.
Wire by 20.
Wire by 18.
Wire by 14.
Susan's got Wire by 16. Again, across the board
Very
there.
close.
Tight spread of just 6 points again.
I think this one might throw up a difference.
Yeah, Huddersfield, Toulouse, Accu Stadium. I've gone for Toulouse to win by 4.
Toulouse by 7.
Huddersfield by 8.
Huddersfield by 8.
And Susan's also got Toulouse by 4, so we split 2 and 3 there. So that's quite interesting. DIY kitchens then, as we've just discussed, Wakefield versus KR. I've tossed and turned with these predictions, but I think I'm going to go Wakefield by 8.
You're never this unsure with your predictions.
Have you written it down yet?
KR by 6.
Wakey by 4.
Got Rovers by 10.
Susan's got Wakefield by 4.
Never.
So the only one out of
She
the Rovers
never
fans,
backs against Rovers.
the only one out of the Rovers fans who's gone for a Rovers win is Mr. Schwa.
Susan's like the opposite of Ange.
Susange.
You've made me question it though, because you was like, backed Rovers last week, we got well beat. And I'm like, now you're like, oh, back them this week. I'm like, no, I might have to go against them.
I think there'll be differences in this one as well.
I was just going to say, this is the one I think there'll be differences.
Catalans versus Wigan in Paris. I don't know the name of the stadium, so if anyone can help me out, like within the split
Is it
second.
not the Parc des Princes?
I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you.
Or the Parc des
Anyone,
Princes?
Honestly, bad from me.
Yeah.
I totally forgot
Yeah.
it was.
It's Parc des Princes.
It was
Parc
in
des
Paris this week. I knew it when it was announced, but I've just forgot it was this fixture.
I've just been informed it's Parc des Princes. So
I spoke to a Wigan fan in
That's where the back-to-back Champions League final winners play.
that is correct.
Correct.
Totally different
I spoke
sport.
to
So
a Wigan fan in a service station on the way to Wembley at the weekend, and he said to me, "Don't forget." He said, "I think you'll outnumber us fans today." And I said, "Oh, I don't know. You'll travel." He said, "No, I know a lot of people that want to go because it's such a big game to Paris next week." And I'd completely forgotten until he said it.
It's not at the Parc des Princes.
So I was unreliably informed it was at the Parc des Princes.
It's at the Stade Jean Bouen.
Jim Bowen?
So it's not where they went back
the
to back.
Stade Jared Bowen.
A star Jared Bowen.
Yeah,
Funny,
it's
is it?
where Dean likes to go.
Is it not where they went back to back then?
No.
Oh, that's boring then.
Yeah.
Rubbish Joe.
Still in a back-to-back city though.
Paris City, did they win?
Now you are really clutching. Right, corner we got.
So final one then, at the not Parc des Princes. Catalans versus Wigan, I've got Catalan by 6.
Catalan by 10.
Catalan by 10.
Catalan by 8.
And Susan's
nice,
the only one to go for Wigan by 8.
I mean, he's looking shots
Wigan
over there.
after a Challenge Cup final, having to travel to France
With no Smith.
no Smith,
No
no
Walters.
French.
No French.
No Walters.
Definitely no French.
If that comes through for
Well, I've seen that
Susan,
he's going back into rehab.
yeah. If
For
that
another
comes
couple
through
of
for
weeks.
Susan, then fair play.
Exactly.
See, that makes my question that I wrote down even more. Like, why risk French?
Why?
Like
Yeah.
they were already beating you. That
Yeah.
game was done
makes sense.
when they brought French on.
So if that comes off for Susan, then that's a master stroke. But
Just think there might be a lot of passion from Catalan and just like where it is and what's going on. And I'm
and
like,
new coach syndrome as well. He's only been his second game.
what we don't know, and as we always say, because we do our predictions like a Monday before the teams and we find out news throughout the week, but every other team apart from us and Wigan have just had, essentially, the time they play, 2 weeks off.
Yep.
That is a long time in rugby league land to get players back, nurse them back to health from injuries, get people rehabbing, anything that's niggling, get it worked on. You know, Catalan, yes, they have been up and down, but you never know, and we could be completely wrong and Wigan might go over there and blow them out the water. But
Cartwright's just had 2 weeks with his new team to try and embed his philosophies. So And like you say, you've got new coach syndrome, and he's had 2 weeks without a game to train and put them into practice.
They'll be well up for this, Catalan.
Yeah.
But Wigan's Wigan.
Yeah,
You
that's
can never
it, innit?
write them off, can you?
No, that's sense.
Never write off the Wigan.
Never white off Wigan.
I see.
There you go.
Right, as always, before we depart for the evening, just want to say thank you as always to all of our sponsors, including Comscaf, 7 Vodka, and also of course Treble, the home of the pod.
And GN Carpets.
And don't forget GN Carpets as well. But importantly for us, however you consume this media that we put out, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and particularly if on YouTube, make sure you keep the comments coming in, make sure that you hype, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get the new videos fresh into your inbox. And look, always feel free to put comments in, send us messages, send us an email, ask questions, suggest improvements, tell us what you like, what you don't like. We probably haven't said this for a few weeks, but we're nothing if not malleable and able to change and see what goes on.
And they do not have to be rugby related, the comments.
Yeah, send some food questions because it annoys half the fans and the other half love it. And
I love it.
anything that distracts us from a game when we've lost, is good for me. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody, and thank you always to you guys that tune in. We can't do it without you. If you, as Craig likes to say, if you keep tuning in, we'll keep making this stripe.
I just want to apologise to friend of the pod, Gary.
Why?
You reminded me with the food question thing. He sent a question in, and I'm really sorry. We'll have to get it answered next week. He actually sent me a video as well, so I know what it looks like now.
I know what it looks like.
He's fit.
So the words out my mouth. Right, from me then, see you bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.